As some viewers asked me about my Rebel 300, want to know what it's like, whether they should buy a 300 or a 500. And I could start talking about the body real quick, and that is, so there is really no difference at all frame-wise between a 300, a 500, and an 1100. So these first two things are universal for the Honda Rebel. And the first thing is the seat. It might seem comfortable the first time you sit on it and riding it around like that, but after about an hour of riding, it will get very uncomfortable. My wife and I did a trip to Salado. It's about a 130-mile loop, and by the time we were about, I don't know, 4 or 5 miles from home, my backside couldn't take it anymore. So it was like dangerously uncomfortable. I wanted off that seat no matter how. So I bought a Mustang Seats rider seat, and it cost me a little over $300, and it's worth it. So you can figure you're going to add about $300 to the price of this bike, no matter which style you buy. You might notice I'm also riding with a windshield, and it's a Hellfire from Slipstreamer, and it fits like a glove. And you may hear some of the buffering in my helmet right now, but when you get up to about 50 miles an hour, it gets really loud. So if you have like a 3/4 helmet or half helmet, always wear your earplugs. But it is basically necessary, because this thing gets knocked around by the wind quite a bit. And since I put this windshield on, I haven't had any issues at all. It kind of solved that problem. So earplugs, that's fine. Now regarding the size, I don't know about an 1100. I'm sure the 1100 will do anything you want to do, go anywhere you want to go. And they have a dual clutch transmission model, which you should check out a review that was done by Her Two Wheels. I actually never thought about getting an automatic motorcycle before, but after her review, kind of changing my mind about that. So in any event, I don't know much about the 1100. Like I said, I'm sure that engine size will do anything you want. The 500, I'm sure, will ride fine for any conservative rider who wants to just get on the highway and cruise at 80 miles an hour. You're not going to cruise at 80 miles an hour on this bike. It's got a top end of about 85, I believe, and it feels good running around 65 miles an hour. I've cruised to 70, and really I didn't have an issue with that. Let me see if I'm going to get killed here. Nope, didn't. Cool. So, you know, I did a ride going out 190, and I was cruising at about, 70 miles an hour, and I didn't really have an issue. So you all have to bear with me. I'm learning a new camera here, and it's got voice commands. Of course, my primary focus has to be on the road. See, where was I here? Okay, so the 500, I would say, would be good for cruising on, say, I-35, which is the highway near me, 35. Now, out west, going towards, between San Antonio and Fort Stockton and El Paso, that way, like that, speed limit on I-10 is 80 miles an hour, if I remember correctly. Other than that, it's about 65 to 70 miles an hour. Of course, it's a 4-lane road, 2 lanes each way. So you're good. I mean, you're doing 65. That's pretty much what I do in my Jeep. And, and as long as people can pass you, they will. people don't honk at me when I'm doing 65. You know, and crank it up to 70, that's fine. You'll pass some people will pass you. It's just the way it is, right? So I would say interstate highway, okay. One road I wouldn't go on this bike, and probably never will, is we have a toll road around here, and they have some areas that are posted at 85 miles an hour, which is not something you're going to do on this bike. You're not going to hold 85. For one thing, even the motor will do it, and it might, you know. It's a lot of work. I mean, keeping this bike at 70 miles an hour on I-35 in what traffic it had was a lot of work. And, you know, I don't want to do a lot of work. I'm lazy. And the one thing about this may only be particular to the Honda Rebel 300. So if you do get the 300, here's my warning that I can tell you about. You're coming to a stop, do not forget to walk down the gears, because I tell you what, if you're at a stop, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to get it from fourth gear back into first if you want to start out. You got to do a lot of rocking, and it's going to lose itself, and you got to gun it and then rock it again, and it's quite a pain, quite an ordeal. I don't usually do that, but because I was messing with the camera today, I did do it. So. First thing about riding is you need to pay attention, right? To everything. Let's see if I can get away. These roads are kind of messed up. Basically the kind of roads that I ride around here. You know, I've driven on I-35, I've driven on state highways, and these are the roads that are around me, and these are the ones I like to explore. The wind speed right now is about, oh, it's probably not too high. It's supposed to get up to 24 miles an hour, or I would ride, pretty much ride at anything. But it was dangerous, you know. And it would keep my speed way down, especially if I was riding into a headwind. At a wind speed of 24 miles an hour, really doesn't matter now that I have the windshield. I do have a video up there. I think I put a link. You should check it out. I am not an affiliate or anything like that. I don't make any money. I just do it to help people. And I love this bike. I think everybody should get one, to tell you the truth. The world would be a better place. All road Honda Rebels. Or Harley. Yeah, getting hit by on the side right now. Not really an issue. But that's the whole thing. You can feel it. You can still feel it, but it doesn't make you feel unstable. And it's out here on these country roads where you can see that field in front of me right there. The wind just comes roaring over that. So, alright, that's my last shill for Slipstreamer. Unpaid shilling. They want more. They gotta pay me. Like I said, I think I'm just gonna let the camera roll a little bit and let y'all see this. area out here because I live in Texas, and the temperature and weather is mostly good enough to ride. I mean, I'm not saying you don't have to wrap up or anything, but it's pretty good. At least I don't have to store my bike like they do up in the northern states.